Hey, everybody, and welcome. I've got Chad from
Hey, Bob.
Titfos,
Thank you. Very nice to be
titfos.com.
here, sir.
The incredibly true facts.
There's the incredible true facts of space.
Oh, I said incredibly, didn't I?
And, uh, and when I came up with it, I had no idea, or actually would have even considered a world in which there were thousands of books called The Incredible True Facts of Space, but they meant it literally. Or, it's like The Incredible True Facts of Space 2029, because people are taking this public domain uh, almanac kind of knowledge
Uh
and
huh.
then repackaging it, into these products, right, to make kind of a sideline. So every variant you can imagine, uh, you know, about the fashion space, there's a different book about it. I think
Well,
that was
these.
pretty funny.
Here's one here. Let me share this. This is the incredible facts about space.
There we go, man.
And then it's not the true ones, though. It's only the
Yeah.
incredible ones.
Well,
Here's
yeah.
amazing ones, right?
These people weren't in touch with anything. They were just recycling public domain
And then this
knowledge.
was interesting facts. So they're not even incredible.
Yeah.
And then you got
Now
the
it is
fun
kind of fun
facts.
though if you consider that any of us could write our own facts magazine for kids,
It's
and,
true.
and these,
There
you
is
know,
something
these
almost,
kids could end up with a book of facts that were like 98% true, but you put a
yeah,
few big ones
well,
in there that were just mind blowing.
I wouldn't say that that's not already the case.
Mm, that's true. That is true. That is historically proven to be true too, over and
Yeah.
over again. That's one
Yeah,
of
I
the things
think
that's
I
not
think
just
if
true; it's hyper true.
I think if you got 80%, then you're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
I think we're,
that's
we're lucky to get over 50. Like 55% is probably the positive, don't you think?
yeah, yeah. It's very hard to know how feelings will change about different things, and if you're just being an intellectual about a subject, I could see how you could talk yourself into several different positions depending on some bigger picture belief systems you had pinned down already.
Yeah.
So so it is very subjective, and then the point of view of someone with 110 IQ and above comprehending it all, and somebody maybe 100 and below,
Hmm.
those are different realities too. So
Yeah,
it
exactly.
makes it kind of hard. You gotta pick. It's like old Uncle Festus used to tell me. He said when you're driving down the road, and you got one lane going off yonder, and you got
Hmm.
another one going off about right here. You just
Right
gotta
here. That's right.
you just gotta pick the one in the middle.
That's right.
So there's different points of view, but sometimes you just must focus yourself, young man, right there in the middle of the lane.
There you go. Now you actually have written a book
Yes.
called The Incredible True Facts
Yeah.
of Space as well. So you had the website for years though. The website has been around
Since like
for
2004, I
there
think
you
pretty
go,
much.
for over 20 years, but the book you're
This is
kind of
just
doing it
out
all
on ebook
backwards here.
right
Usually
now.
the book comes
This
out
isn't available. this printed book is like October. The ebook version
Oh,
is
okay.
available now, and the cool part about that is that if you're already paying for another Kindle membership, then
Hmm.
it's free to read.
Oh, well, there
So
you go.
it's like a lot of people have extra Kindle features, some type. So or even Amazon Prime features. So
Right. That's
fun.
interesting. Yeah. I guess, well, you get certain ones with Amazon Prime anyway, but I think
Yeah.
there's other add-ons that
What
you can do as well. So,
it might. I don't know. And they used to have one that was they would read the books to you, so you could be
right, right.
a part of that service
Audible.
as well. Yeah.
I
But
think
then
I think they own
they may have
Audible.
put it with something. I think they created something else and then put Audible and that together, and maybe they
Oh,
call it Plus.
gotcha. Oh,
You
there
know,
goes your lights.
now, everybody's got a different Plus version. Right? There's like there's Chad Bowers, but then there's Chad Bowers Plus.
Yeah, there you go.
$5 more a month.
$5, right? The plus is usually a $5. They should have called it, Prime 5 because it's all $5. I want to start that right now.
Like
I'm gonna
five
get
and
rid of.
under.
Everybody's doing plus. We're gonna do 5. What do you
Yeah.
think? Titfos
Well,
5.
it's a solid number.
Yeah.
I've always was partial to it from the time I was a child because they
And it's an odd number, which I enjoy odd numbers. So
it truly is. Yeah.
yeah.
And it
So
looks
that
odd.
way, yeah.
You know.
Even numbers,
So
I'm not so. Even numbers are kind of
it's an important
shady.
number. We got
Yeah,
5 fingers.
it's true. Well, some people have 6, but it's okay.
Frank was talking about something neat the other day. He was talking about how it was interesting to him, says like a lot of native cultures in North America didn't develop a written language,
Hmm.
and he was saying that he didn't know why that was, or maybe they just didn't think about it,
Right.
and it was a great thought, because I was having fun thinking about that after that, and I was just thinking my take on it would be that like some cultures, if your meaning were based around family relations and you had a strong oral tradition,
Hmm.
I could see how you would see it as a real step down to transfer this magic knowledge just onto some common thing, that anybody could have at once.
Right.
It's kind
Yeah.
of like, and then the really important life lessons, maybe you don't even want to teach some of them until the person's at a certain age or is past a certain ritual. You might want to keep those truths, off limits. So
Mm.
I can really see the advantage if you were a hunter gatherer, kind of roaming kind of person, and how important the tribe and traveling would be,
Hmm.
and the interrelationships. I could see how you could decide that no, you'd be giving your magic away. You'd be giving the power away if you were to
Mm.
publish everything at once.
That's true. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I write nothing about that kind of stuff in the book.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah. Let's see. I
Uh,
told you, Bob, on a last podcast, one of the last ones. Well, we did 3. So the first one
right.
that
Okay.
that I started Titfos in the inner hell little wood box inside a Walmart right in the
Hmm.
edge of Auburn, Alabama, out in Opelika.
Hmm.
So it was it was a funny time because store manager Darren Lacombe did not like having to run this booth. It was like this thing corporate out of Atlanta was making him do. And here
Oh.
he was in Montgomery, Alabama. No, Auburn, Alabama. And so or Opelika, Alabama. So it's kind of like let's not let it succeed. So uh,
I don't like this, so I'm going to make it fail.
yeah, and I think I got under his nerves enough. Just simple stuff. Like I like to keep the calculators on the table in front of me,
Hmm.
and he did not like any calculators on the table.
Well,
And
okay.
this is pre cell phone era, right? We used to entertain ourselves with calculators,
Sure,
and
sure.
I did I
You
did
type
anyway.
words and whatnot, hold them upside down. Sure.
Well, that's one level of fun. Um, but you could also type in your father's birth.
Right.
Then you could minus how many years old his father was when he was born, and start doing some more math, and you find out what year that is,
Uh,
and then you start thinking about okay, how far ago from now would that be me if my grandchild was looking in the future?
Right. Wow, you're getting
So
in deep thought here in the box.
I've always had a really good time with calculators. I love calculators.
You think people, in before the late '60s, early '70s, didn't have access to calculators, and then cheap calculators came out in the late '70s, early '80s.
Really, yeah, because in the late '60s, very early '70s, you had like really expensive,
Right.
almost handmade Texas Instruments,
Right.
by people
Exactly.
that were probably way overqualified, uh,
Right.
knowledge-wise, to be doing this, and they had a tremendous office out there, really amazing place.
Yeah, I had as a kid, we had an adding machine, which was this huge mechanical monster
Oh yeah,
with all the buttons. That instead didn't have, now you just have 10 buttons. It had 100 buttons, right? So you'd have
right.
10 digits with all 10 digits.
It's like, oh, you
And
want to amortize the number? Well,
yeah,
do you want the French method,
yeah,
the Danish Imperial, the Kentucky Fried American?
yeah. And then you had this big handle, almost like a one-armed bandit that you then had to pull down, and it shot up these
Yeah.
these metal uh, typeset things that had the numbers on them, and then they would smack against the paper.
Oh
Right?
wow.
It was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a monster,
Not only the
and
calculation, but then you're having it
right,
printed out at the same
yeah.
time.
Well, it went onto the paper, and you go ka-chunk, and it was the funnest thing to play with. I mean, it was outdated technology. This is probably from the '20s or something. I don't know, but that was a you talk about playing with calculators. That was more, and it was like very industrial and heavy, and I mean you
Man,
couldn't
I
carry it
imagine there were
around.
a lot of mom and pop shops still using those in the
Yeah, and
70s.
you go tick 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 ka-chunk tick 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 ka-chunk, and then
Well, because it's truly a powerful machine.
mhm,
To us as a kid, well, it was this thing that was like a really heavy, clunky way to add or
mhm,
subtract, and that's about as far as our minds went with it. But
right.
if you truly mastered that scene, like you've been using it for 10 years or something, oh my gosh,
Oh no,
trying to
my
replace that with a computer would be really take a
my,
while.
my mother did the books, and she would sit down there and she would do this really quickly. Ta 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 pow, ta 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 pow.
Oh yeah,
I
right.
mean, she was she was adept because she'd been using that thing obviously for probably a couple of decades at that point. So
Yeah,
it
the
was
first
it was
grocery store I
fascinating.
worked at, the ladies still.
Hope you muted yourself there. There you go.
My Bob.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
we
there.
had we had a connection problem.
You just muted yourself for a moment. That's all.
Ah, rats. I was telling you, when I worked at a grocery store, one of my first jobs, and the ladies that worked the cashiers, they were still doing a lot of typing. They were scanning things, but they were still
Right.
doing a lot of typing, and everything was still cash. So
Hmm.
it's kind of a different skill set. I've noticed going through that just the absence of effort that it used to require. Having worked as a kid, you see, my gosh, you
Hmm.
know, we're lucky we still have. So I always wait in line to go in the cashier's lines at Publix because I like the fact that they still have cashiers on duty.
Yeah. See now, Miles, my co-host for Static Radio, I always go into the people line rather than the computer line,
Yeah,
and then I always go into the self checkout.
you do.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I don't want the interaction or the
Ah,
scrutiny on what I'm buying is usually the thing. So yeah,
oh, so I like to talk about it. Yeah, I like to.
but he always, yeah, he's more social like you, where he wants to interact with these folks and find something out. I guess I don't know.
I'd get to say, look, these incontinence pantsuits really are for my dog.
That's right. You can tell they're not my size. It's obvious.
That's right. Would you like to open them together?
Well, so let's talk about the book a little bit here. This is what would you call it as? I mean, other than the facts about space, would you call it a compilation of short stories?
Yeah, it is. It's a mix. It's a light read. It's I don't even know. It was like 160 pages on Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I didn't spring for the page numbers. What the hell? Anyway,
I have 190 on my PDF that you sent me.
This is a proof copy of the.
I was going to ask you. Oh, okay. I see. It's got the proof on there.
Yeah, so it's not. It's not really for sale. So there's
I
still
do your artwork. I will say your artwork is very good.
Thanks. Yeah, I like it. It is an AI background with an AI chair and an AI TV and AI carpet.
Well, now I'm going to take back my statement. No, I'm just joking. No, I mean, I like because you use the incredible true facts of space part multiple times. Obviously, you've added something for the book, but I've seen that other part many times.
Let's see. So it started in a Walmart in a inner hell little box where I was supposed to be selling cell phones, and was pretty much directed not to worry about it. So, I was like, okay. And Darren didn't like me being in the office because I, hung inappropriate posters in the bathroom once. I was still just young enough to be a little bit nuts, like when I worked at Blockbuster. Alfalfa's. This is before Blockbuster bought us. We were kind of the cool record store. And so
Alfalfa, like the our gang person.
yeah. Alfalfa books and video. It was
interesting.
Local Mobile kind of. I think it grew up to like 3 locations. So it's anyway. It was what were we talking about there?
You're working at selling cell phones that you weren't supposed to sell.
Yeah, I think I was still just young enough to be a little nuts. Back earlier when I worked at Alfalfa's, this was music. Oh man, I don't know. 24, 25, 24 maybe. And so anyway, so I had a special sale, that we would refill your Zippo if you rented 3 movies, and after we'd become a Blockbuster, that wasn't considered.
That wasn't part of the plan anymore.
It was no longer a bonus that we could offer to the customers.
Oh man, they refill the Zippo, so you guys had like all of this lighter fluid under the counter.
No, in fact, I came up with it because we always had lighter fluid on hand if we're taking labels.
Oh, for removing the label. Gotcha. That was before the gunk off or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and when we were still talking about physical objects, like each one had to be made and had to look right. So
yeah,
that's amazing to think how much time we used to spend sorting those tapes. Making sure they were rewound, and mainly not because you were like paranoid, angry video guy that wanted them rewound, but it's just the complaint you would get and the lack of showmanship you would serve by giving somebody a video. They get home, they popcorn, the kids are on the couch, they plug it in, and they got to rewind the whole thing. Well, I mean, classically that was considered really bad form, right, for being cool to your customers. So
right
And Alfalfa's was kind of much more of a hip store. That so it really would have made a great movie. Now that you think about it, yeah.
Is this the
Yeah.
place? This says Alfalfa on the window there. Does that look like it, or is that something different? Oh, sorry.
No, I can't really see it. I guess my screen's way too small.
No problem. I was trying to find an image of this.
It was like it was blue and yellow, but a lighter blue and a lighter yellow.
Oh, okay. This is probably something newer then.
Yeah, this would have been peculiar to Mobile, and I don't know, 1992 to 1997, maybe. Okay. No. When Blockbuster would have bought them in 92, I guess. Yeah. A long time ago, man.
It is a while ago.
Hard to imagine. I can't quite count the numbers.
You need a calculator.
It's always good to have a calculator. When's it not good to have a calculator? You know?
Exactly.
Well, so what is this book about? This book is many different stories, short stories, separated by strange lists, short poems, and Vogon poetry.
Okay.
Man, I do have my glasses. I need some light. That's the problem. Yeah, I was gonna read you a piece.
Oh yeah. Let's hear a little bit. Let's get a little reading in here. Now, did you ever sell any cell phones at the Walmart?
Usually, the goal was to send them to the main office. Just say we didn't have any inventory there.
Oh, gotcha. So he really didn't like this whole operation. He's like, just send them someplace else. We don't need to have the.
All right, so
it's a fad. This cell phone's a fad.
Here's for more of a list-like thing. This is an incredible true fact of space. Sure, the truth will set you free, but on Zlan, it will also stain your teeth permanently. You know, when you buy your next interstellar craft, don't get too hung up on the upholstery. I know a guy who can take care of that for you. The best toilets in the tri-galaxies carry the Duraflush label. There's this planet called Earth, but watch out, they're carbon. When sleeping during the space hibernation, try not to dream about naked women. It's a trick. Tricky Zorlons. The problem with space food, well, the ketchup's actually blood.
Uh-oh.
Hyperspatial reality elf, don't panic if you meet. Be calm, close your eyes, breathe, and one more thing, you've got space fever. All right, so there we go. So it's real. Yeah, all right, so here's more of a story. This is probably like a 5 or 6 day story. I remember feeling defiant. Lad and Lassie, Mobile, Alabama. Oh, the days at Lad and Lassie, when the air smelled of crayons, rebellion, and the faint whiff of mischief. I can still picture the wooden-stalled bathroom, that creaky painted stall that was like a time capsule from another era when cars were the size of pleasure yachts and health codes were optional. Anyway, it talks about Joy, this girl that was really tall. That's all I remember about Joy. And it talks about square dancing, some other things. Wow. And then there's some more abstract things like the haunted video game parlor. And it's a story about Draculas are involved, alien robots, a 900-foot tall mechanical Michael Jackson swept his neon green laser eyes across the desert, incinerating the bats in a fury of bursts. The Dracula Telethon blared from the arcade speakers, hosted by a count, a caped count. He raised funds for diseased and socially challenged children. Just then, a man in a Lemon Pledge outfit came out in costume, sang just like Sammy Davis Jr., Glass Eye, everything. Frank was down there kicking his shins, drawing more laughter, piles of donations. A cameraman, motorcycle, even a dinette set with 100 yards of carpet were given away, as the crowd cheered. Inside, Boomer and Vishna played on. Boomer, pausing the joystick, drove a virtual car while Vishna fed him rice and sweet milk lassie, her laughter echoing. You're the best dental assistant alive, Boomer. Anyway, so it's a love story between this cat and a Dracula telethon that goes on. And
what a Dracula telethon?
Yeah, like Dracula's, like it's not in the book, don't worry, but I have hundreds of Dracula said things
that sounds like some kind of Jeff Foxworthy kind of Dracula says.
Let me get some water, because this Dracula says, I want your blood, right? That's the
one everybody knows.
Right. That's your common.
You may be a vampire if
if you don't purchase my eye cream. You could see him being like a QVC host.
That's right.
It's kind of the 120 minutes version of QVC that never happened. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now it's nighttime QVC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you should do an infomercial for your book.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, this kind of is, but it's not exactly, because you need to have somebody who's a little more smiley and ingratiating.
Well, I like seeing your cartoon cat avatar. I see it on LinkedIn, all the time.
Yeah, that's true. It's all over LinkedIn. They wouldn't let me put it as my picture, though. So I got a strongly worded email about that, or message that I could not have the cat be my image.
Oh.
Apparently, they want you to be professional on LinkedIn, although they'll let me post about people farting.
Your posts always stick out on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like, let me vomit something the person I'm kissing up to in corporate said. Let me tell my ex-boss that just got a better $10 million parachute deal. Let me tell them that I really appreciate what an asshole they were.
Yeah, exactly.
But so you read through LinkedIn, but for certain marketing groups, it's and it depends if your buyers change jobs a lot in like really specific industries. They're probably all over LinkedIn, because about after 10 years you've met enough other people in the same industry that you kind of form these ad hoc social networks, and you got a lot of intelligence between places. So that's always kind of a neat thing to see, and neat to see how it affects just everything else.
Yeah, I'm incredibly surprised that people actually take the time to look at my content on LinkedIn.
It's the only kind of real stuff up there is that blue cartoon cat, right? Signs that you might have car trouble.
Okay.
Fire. Well, that would be bad. Fire under the dash and hood Fire under the hood spreads to the interior.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Uh, the windshield melts while the wipers. It's too dark for me to see, man.
You need some of those glasses that have the little lights on either side.
Yeah, that's really what I need. Let's see if we can. I'm not going to cut you off. I help. Well, I'm going to just move this whole thing. Like
there
this.
You go. Look at that.
All right. We'll lead by the. We'll all read together.
That's right. Everybody, I'll take the first line. I can't see it.
Yeah. Make sure you got a tasty beverage, because here we go. Large crane lifting your car over swamp fails, dropping your car into mysteriously placed buckets of lava. Dracula is hiding in the truck with a knife, or no, with a loaded pistol.
Oh, gosh.
When the engine falls out of the car, the oil pan develops a bad leak. And you're also out of gas. Red dummy lights on the dash are hard to see over the telephone pole coming through the windshield. These sound like something like Johnny Carson may have enjoyed. Neighbor seen pouring sugar into gas tank. It's a sign of car trouble. Bomb in the glove box explodes prematurely. A 500-pound sentient jail has appeared in your back seat. And he hates cars. Calvin pees on your car during asparagus season.
Poor old Calvin.
I know, man. The guy that never did any licensing because he never wanted to sell his characters out. And,
right. It happened.
He fell in with a bad crowd. Poor Calvin, But he sorted himself out now. He's actually become a Buddhist monk. So.
Oh, well, good for him.
Mercury retrograde in fire sign Sagittarius ends water sign Scorpio. Battery's dead. Battery dead. That's bad news.
That's very bad news.
Yeah. So there's lots of fun to be had.
Yeah, I love the Dracula thing in there. That's good. Now, how do you feel? So, you and I both have known Frank Edward Nora for many, many years over at the overnightscape.com, onsug.com. Actually, I have a little tag there. There you go. You can go there and see him, hear him. You just disappeared. There you go. But he has a Dracula show called Count Angelus's Contraption. Do you remember this?
This is a great idea. It's
I know.
It's one of those monster host shows. But this guy's hosting classic movies, kind of like in a town when we grew up, when there were independent TV stations, and to try to show something interesting at night or after school or late at night.
Yeah.
They would put on these interesting shows. So
I love the idea, and I hope someday that he does it, at least one episode with puppets and everything, because I think it's one of those fantastical things that could. It's one of those things that it has all the hallmarks of being something.
Yeah, and I think Frank would be a great personality to be dressed up into some kind of outfit and character, and actually be Count Angelo's. The physical contraption has to be made behind him too, because it was
right. Well, I think it should be made out of cardboard. But anyway, your Dracula things just reminded me of that. I'm sorry we got off on a tangent there, but because your Dracula references, I'm like, it reminds me of Count Angelus's Contraption, where he would put bad movies into some kind of machine, and then it would come out with an even worse movie. That was the idea that I recall. And then he had other people. There is Oh gosh, what is the name of it? I'm gonna blank on it now. There
Well,
is a show in Canada that was on in the 70s,
okay.
and I gotta find it now. Um, Vincent Price actually did the intros for the show in his later years before he passed away,
Oh, okay.
and he like did them all over the course of a week. He went up there and did all these intros. Um,
I
and
feel like I just can't remember the name of this thing, but yeah,
I'm trying to I'm stalling while I'm looking to see if I can find it.
I know it was. The memories are very clearly video era quality.
That's right. That's right.
Stuff that was hard to upscale. Past
Yeah.
DVD levels for some reason, and yeah, you can't even actually reach DVD levels. No, that's DVD looks okay, especially with a
Right.
good upscaler. You can make with.
I got it. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein is the
I did
name
not
of it.
remember that name, but yeah, maybe it just like it fell out of memory because it's like not a very good name. I don't know.
Well, the funny thing was I found out about it. This is kind of like a tangent to Dracula and Count Angela's contraption. Yeah, I'm going to bring it up on the screen here, so you can see it as well if you'd like. And because there it is, Hilarious House of Frightenstein, and it was mainly this one actor. So here he's all made up here with the thing on his head, and then this is this kind of Igor type person there. But let me see if I can find. I watched. If you go, it's actually out on the free streaming things, and he does do a Dracula impersonation right there. Is his Dracula thing. Now, what no one knows, and I'll see if I can find a picture of this because it's quite interesting because of the fact that here's what I'm saying is it had all the hallmarks to be something great, but maybe it wasn't at the time. I'll see if I can find it. Sorry, I keep scrolling because this was the inspiration.
I've heard the voice parts of it. I wonder if someone could take the voice sections and then reanimate the stories. Him as a host.
It was a kid's show. Oh gosh, I wish I could find. Anyway, I'll tell you if I can't find a picture of it here.
All right. Yeah, I wish I could make the screen bigger. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay.
Can't quite figure it out.
So Mike Myers took inspiration from this because this guy had a character that was a mini-me. He is the originator of mini-me because he had his Dracula character, and then he had a small person, a little person, dressed exactly like him, and he literally calls him the mini-me.
That's a really great concept to come up with, and yeah, I mean it's a pretty original idea. So,
and Mike Myers stole it wholesale.
Did he
Powers.
credit the guy? He didn't credit the guy for this?
He has in interviews, but I don't know that he credited the guy in
financially.
Monetarily.
Well, man, no, that's he should. I mean, just out of respect, the guy obviously made an impression on him.
But if you like, because I know you're a fan of the Sid and Marty Krofft.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's very good entertainment,
right?
Except for look through a certain lens, right?
Right. You're familiar with it, and you are.
I grew up with it, yeah, and I thought it was really cool at the time.
Right.
And,
this is like Sid and Marty Krofft from Canada.
Like the was it the Sea Slacks or the?
Oh yeah,
Sea Stacks.
The Sea Stacks from Land of the Lost.
Yeah, those were pretty cool. Witchy Poo, I remember fighting with her in front of a blue screen at the Amazing World of Sid and Marty Krofft in Atlanta, Georgia. So
in Atlanta, yeah.
It's only open apparently. Frank has talked about it many times.
Right.
I think for like 9 months, which is wild because it. I've talked about it, a couple times on shows, and the overall impression was, yeah, you could kill, half a day there, but I think it was kind of like Disney World price, and then
Right.
they had, a lot more problems with the machinery breaking down at times. So, I remember when we were there were several times where it's like, no, this, it's gone down, indefinite wait, but then people would wait in line because, apparently that was the norm. And
Right.
so, and I guess they were probably trapped, right? They didn't have Disney level technology, and they were trying to build a couple very simple dark rides, like the pinball machine game was, or ride was, the most original thing they had by far.
There's
And
people in the pinball. There you are.
oh, okay, I can't see it because of the
That's
size,
okay.
but
Trust me.
I look like an ant. It's not possible.
Yeah. But it's very interesting, all of that. There's the world of Sid and Marty Krofft. And
I
so,
remember the inside the pinball game was very disco looking.
right.
It was kind of the height of disco look. Everything was smooth, round chrome, and oh man,
You're one of the few who actually got to experience it.
Well, I got to ride that Atari game where, like, my older brother was driving the fire engine, and then I was on the back with a separate.
Oh,
steering.
yes, I did that.
And,
yes,
man, that was a lot of pressure for a kid, Like
it was. I do
felt
remember
important.
playing that, but that was a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm.
And for the time, incredibly
and not
interactive.
easy by any means. It was. It's very simple graphics, but
right,
in the sense of what it was representing, it was somewhat of a physics simulator.
Sure.
So yeah, it was an early insight into kind of how deep these games could be. These games didn't have to just be shooting a single thing, because at that point we were just getting to that with like the cowboy game.
Right.
Like Nintendo had one out, and I'm pretty sure that was one of the first products they distributed to the U.S. was some sort of a gun game.
Oh yeah, was it Gunfighter? No,
there's an interesting story with that game too, but I can't remember at the moment. But I like Frank's policy: if you can't remember, just be like,
if you can't remember it, just make it up. That's my policy.
Well, that was interesting what the AI did. He had a unique personal copy AI, so it's limited to 26 gigabytes of data about everything.
Right.
So anything you ask it, it's going to do its best to answer with the LLM formula, and
Right.
it would it made up things like there was a restaurant at Disney's Horizons at Epcot, and Frank was like, "Oh, well, tell me more about this restaurant," and it starts going into detail about what they served and how they served it, and it was so neat looking that The Right Stuff filmed a scene, and it's known for that. And it's like, none of this stuff is true, right?
None of it's real. We're headed for a future of having no idea what our past or present is.
Right. Yeah.
Because it could make up anything, and if you're not anywhere in the area or know about it, then you'll just take it as fact, maybe even incredible true facts, and you'll go with that for the rest of your life.
Right. Sorry, Bob. I'll be right back. Technology troubles here.
Yeah, I think you need to get with a Gobo.
I do.
Oh, now you've muted yourself again or something. You're gone. If you can still hear me, you've disappeared. Chad. Oh, there you are. Now you're back. You must have hit the button
What's
there.
her name appeared? The orb lady?
Oh yeah,
Siri.
Siri.
Yeah.
She's like, of course
Yeah.
it's true, Chad. Horizons did have that restaurant. You're remembering it wrong.
What was that episode of Star Trek? It's like there are 5 lights, and it was like there were like 4 lights, and Captain Kirk's like looking into the 4 lights,
Uh-huh.
and the voice from above is going, "There are 5 lights," and he's like, "There are 4 lights," and the whole thing was like a mental game to break him, to get him to to be compelled to speak truth, right, so to speak.
Right, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen to all of us with this.
And
with AI.
Have you seen the quote with the movie? I don't know if it's real or not, but I did see that the other day. It might not be real, but the movie Dune. One of the lessons was the father, royal guy, was like
Paul Atreides. No, it was the Duke Atreides. Yeah, go ahead. Paul is the main character.
Did you find the quote I'm talking about?
Oh, no, I didn't. What I didn't. I'm just off. That's off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
What kind of quote is it?
Let's see.
What's it about?
Men will invent machines to think for them.
Oh, gotcha.
Then they'll use machines to remember for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then powerful, abusive men will take over the machines and use the machines to enslave all men.
Right. Sounds about right.
I was like, man, that is how you do it.
Yeah, I think
it's a foolproof plan.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know how you counter it.
We want to
know.
We're all in our little fiefdoms, and we don't know the difference.
Yeah. Well,
except people who read the incredible True Facts of Space.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I started writing weird stuff when me and my brother would take long road trips, because my father's parents were from Connecticut, and my mom were from, Grove Hill, north of Grove Hill, and kind of nowhere above Grove Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a lot of road trips, either to the country every other week, and Connecticut once a year, once or twice in a year. And it's a really long drive, so my father would find like every single thing you could do. And if you remember back then, if you were part of AAA, you could order trip kits.
Yeah, trip kits, yeah.
And so they would send you these little packages, and it's like, you'll take this road, and here's some good places for lunch. Here's some good places for dinner. And, little mini reviews of them. And so you can just kind of plan the whole deal out with just these little cards.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you had to be smart enough to take I-45 or, I-65 north all the way until it hits I-85. And then you got to make that turn, right?
Right.
So it's complicated, it's just as complicated as it is now, but people were able to do it without computers helping them.
Right, without somebody talking to them the whole time. Exactly. Yeah. Well, maybe the navigator in the car talked to them, but it was a different type of talking to you.
Man, yeah.
Yeah. No, I kind of miss the days of not knowing for a while. There's always that point in the road trip back before GPS where you would be lost.
Right.
And you would not know if you were, and then you'd finally come to a realization by a road sign or or a landmark of some kind, and then you'd be like, "Oh no, we're not lost."
Or you're getting so many miles to a certain city, so you imagine, eventually, we're on the right way at least.
Right, we're on the right. Exactly. We saw, another city that we recognize, so we're on the right way.
Yeah.
And you don't have that
in
anymore.
Alabama. I noticed growing up, because I moved to Dallas, for like 20, 22 years.
Wow.
And so the traffic growing up, driving anywhere, you could kind of dead reckon, because you were either going to be on I-10 east or west. You go over to Pensacola, go over, catch that other road all the way down to Orlando, or you go west through Texas and keep on going out into California. You take I-10 all the way.
Right, I-10, yeah.
And so my mind was always just northeast, west, south. If something was northeast of me, I could get there. Just a combination of growing up and knowing the city, and the fact that the roads were relatively normal. But then when you get to Dallas, one, it's never not under construction. In the 20-something years I worked or lived there, there never were not major construction projects on several different interstates. And so I do not miss the hour-long drive in the morning and the hour-long drive in the evening. And that was probably, one of the better commutes I had while living out there. So
now I got a question for you, because I was in the South recently, not like South Carolina, so not South like where you're at. Why don't they do construction all year round in the South? Because it never gets really too terrible. I still wait for the summer.
Yeah, I probably should have overheard something about that at some point. Laura's father was a traffic engineer with the Alabama. He lives in Montgomery. I'm from Mobile, and we met at Auburn. But Laura's father, James, in Montgomery, was Department of Transportation. I don't know exactly what he did in it, but he did well there, and he was there for like 30 years. So
right, yeah,
whatever that would be. And but anyway, it's very technical, and it sounds like a boring job, but to the people in it, they're all such engineers at heart that they love talking about soil viscosity and
maybe if it gets to be a certain temperature, then it has problems with the concrete and stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's probably a couple choke points along with the fact that a lot of people don't like to do work, especially if you're from the South and you're not really clothed for it and you're not really accustomed to it. The idea of like holding a metal hammer or something, or just holding a tool outside and hitting something when it's really cold and you're not used to cold, most workers would rather not. And I think what's always been true in construction is if you've got 20 guys that always show up, other than that, they're not horrible. They're not a threat to anybody. But they kind of really don't care. But they show up all the
They actually show up. Yeah.
so in construction, that counts for a lot. So if you get this kind of weather that your guys don't want to work in, then that percentage just stops dropping to the point where it's like, well, you're not going to fire these guys because you're a Southern guy too, and you're kind of being a little unreasonable, when I'm to work in that weather. Yeah, not gonna show up. So you just
here in St. Louis.
I'm guessing here.
Oh, that's no problem. I'm just curious.
I think we're on the right track, though. I think we figured it out.
In St. Louis, I always felt bad for the water department because St. Louis has very old infrastructure, and there for a while, like back in the early 2000s, when I was in the city all day, every day, water mains broke constantly, and it would be the middle of winter, and a water main would break, and there's guys down in that hole getting wet in freezing temperatures.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I'm like, and it was happening like, I mean, every night on the news. Water main at, Del Mar and
And how
Stinker.
do you not get wet, right?
Right, exactly. And your hands get
Impossible.
wet, right? I mean, they suited up and everything, but you're getting soaked down in a hole in
Yeah.
the middle of winter trying to wrangle the pipe. And I'm like, this has got to be the worst job in the world. Now, the funny thing was, and this is like late 90s, and this is another weird local thing because I know you like this stuff. Anyway, there was a guy who was a local wrestler. His wrestling name was the Giant Assassin, and I think he was like 6'4" or 6'5". He worked for the water department, and he was in those holes. And I would see him. I would see the Giant Assassin.
That's a horrible name.
Well, he was down in a hole.
It's not well thought out, right? Because
well, he was very popular. I think he's in the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
But if you were a giant assassin,
right?
It's kind of hard to sneak around.
That's true. I think that was. But he would be in Hampton.
Did you see anything unusual today, sir? Well, there were 100 people in and out. But yeah, there was this one giant with a gun, and I was I guess he comes to mind.
But the Giant Assassin, because he was really tall, and he would be down in a hole on Hampton Avenue with water shooting out of it. And I was like, wow, that's a Giant Assassin fixing the water main.
I think we should go further. I think he should have some other ailments that that plague him in his journey to kind of show character development.
Yeah.
Over the arc.
Well, at this point, I think he's passed away, unfortunately. But in the 90s, he was quite popular in the local wrestling circuit around here, which...
Like, it might be funny if he had a speech impediment, right? And
yeah.
you had like several different angles.
Kind of like Kripke on the Big Bang Theory there with the W's. Yeah, I'm a giant assassin.
I heard something about that show. I heard there's some new.
Yeah, it's on HBO. I actually watched the first episode.
Oh yeah, how was
Stewart fails to save the universe? I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
it was all right. I mean, it's not. They're not trying to be the Big Bang Theory. They're just characters from the Big Bang Theory in a different scenario. It's still a comedy.
That's smart. I never really caught the show, but
yeah,
I watched some of it. I don't have strong negatives or anything about it because it for a big budget network style comedy, which I think a lot of people like us may have appreciated it more if we went back and watched it because now looking back, it was kind of the last big bang of of that type of programming, which really is unique to an era. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine that
now because you have this book,
a whole era has naturally passed like that.
Because you have this book out and you're a bona fide author. I'm gonna pitch you an idea tonight.
All right.
And this ties into this whole thing. I am a huge fan of workplace comedies. You name a sitcom that takes place at a work work environment, a specific work environment, not just a generic one.
Right.
And I like those. Like there was a thing called Superstore, which was at a Walmart clone.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched that one.
That's a good one, right? I mean, and I'm rewatching News Radio, which was from the 90s with Dave Foley and Phil Hartman. And it's a great workplace comedy set.
It was so funny.
Yeah, news radio at a news radio station. And I'm like, we are missing right now the quintessential workplace comedy. It could be at a pot store, a dispensary. I think that would be a really good workplace comedy to write. What say you, Mr. Chad?
Well, you know, the comedy you just spoke about. Now it's like the two main people involved. Maybe it's a couple, and one of them is really from more what you would expect angle, and then one's really off type somehow, like super, religious and really into it,
Yeah.
and show how that works out.
I think their nemesis could run the liquor store next door.
That I've got one in mind. We were going antiquing just the other week, and we drove, and we were hungry, and it was Sunday, and so we were like, where's open? Where's somewhere where we can get a bite real quick? And so the only thing open was like Arby's, America's roast beef. Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah.
I know no one really says it that way anymore. Remember when they had those big hats that were kind of vulgar?
Yeah.
Something about the top of that hat always bothered me.
Yeah. A little suggestive. The funny thing, I just was making fun of Miles on the show this week, where he said he was having lunch when something was happening, and I said, oh, he was eating Arby's, and he had barbecue sauce all over his face. So it's funny how synchronicity, as Frank would
I've got
say.
some stories about Arby's sauce. I used to collect it for a relative, friend of the family in the country, and it was an old guy. He was really old, but he really liked squirrel, and he really liked Arby's sauce on his squirrel.
I can see that. I can see where that would help the situation.
Well, yeah, it works pretty good on reindeer and deer.
Yeah,
venison. I've tried
it.
I've tried it that way. And in college, my radio partner, Big Jim Slade, we did the show 91 Requests together, and his father always stocked him up with deer sausage. So we learned that hamburger helper could really be deer helper.
Oh yeah, pretty good. There you go. And a little barbecue sauce, then you're all set if you want it.
Mm-hmm. Made some pizzas.
A little horsey sauce.
It cuts through the gaminess. That's kind of where I was going with that. So
I think that's their new slogan. Arby's, you cut through the gaminess.
Well, and I guess it's useful for that hunk of whatever they're cutting into to make all those thin slices that you don't want to look at too close.
Right, that's right. You don't. Yeah.
There's a lot going on in those slices.
Look at the marbling on this. But no, I think that we need a workplace comedy. There's a void right now on the streaming services for a really, really solid workplace comedy. So,
yeah, I guess you just have to do some study and know what the average like office workspace really looks like, because it's just what I see around is just pretty all over the place.
Yeah,
but I guess out in Dallas it was more like land of cubicles,
right?
Dallas is,
well, there you go, land of cubicles. That could be a whole show right there.
Yeah, city
land of cubicles. And you have the one cubicle that is always turning over. There's always a different person in the cube, and they look over, and there's a whole different person every time they go by that cube. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? There's this, the constant churning of workers,
right?
And that whole aspect of things in the land of cubicles.
Oh man, yeah. Remember how heavy computers used to be too? IT guys having to pull that stuff in and out.
Yeah, I had at one point, I think I had a 25-inch computer monitor. which was unheard of for the day, right?
Right.
This would be back in the 90s, right?
And what were you doing with it at the time?
Well, it was holding the earth in place mostly, because it was so heavy that I got it because I wanted to have this big monitor, and I got somebody to sign off on it. I don't remember what transpired. I don't know if I got them drunk or I had some secrets. I can't remember.
What company was that at?
Well, I don't ever talk about the companies. But
That's right. You and Frank. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, and I was the only person that got this monitor, which then became the envy of people after I didn't talk about it. I just got it. But
then that one person's like, oh, look at
so-and-so's
monitor.
Bob has got this giant ass monitor.
Hey, new guy, have you seen Bob's monitor?
Yeah, monitor. Yeah, and I also had 2 monitors way before 2 monitors was kind of a thing. And
that's cool.
But this one was just so big and heavy. And I'm trying to remember. I think it was even a Sony, which makes a difference, obviously at the time, especially, right?
Yeah. When those were new, when there was a period where their early 90s, it seems like, their computer line was really stylistically ahead and probably technology too.
Oh yeah. Well, and Sony's were just like boat anchors.
That's sort of a classic era for Sony, you know?
Yeah.
I love that whole transistor era of Japanese electronics. Kind of through to the recent present. Like to me, the Sony RS stereo systems of the 90s, that's kind of the ultimate, except for maybe the Nakamichi Dragon cassette deck we would need. But yeah, that's kind of like my favorite, what do you call it, switching system. And I think we ought to get one of those. Let's figure it out, Bob.
I'll work on it. You never know.
That's the hard though, because that's a lot of stuff, and the minimalist side of me. So
I know. I'm trying not to have stuff. Yes.
It's like, well, I've just got a really good sound bar now. You know, that's that's everything's in one space, and it's kind of zen not having wires going connecting things. Or I guess they're wireless now. I don't know.
Yeah, some of them are, but the Bluetooth and whatnot. Yeah.
Do you remember when Adobe Pro Logic came out for home?
Yes. Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, man!
I had some of the Bose bookshelf speakers, which were really popular for a while and very expensive.
I know
this would be like the Seinfeld era, because they had the Bose Soundwave, and then they had these really nice bookshelf speakers that Bose put out, and they even had a store, the Bose store.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to the Bose store and got these fantastical again. I got it for work.
Oh wow, man!
And yeah, I had it's always. Yeah, I don't know how I finagled all this. This now that we're talking, this is my workplace comedy. I'm like, how did I talk everybody into these kind of things? Because I was not the decision maker.
You're like, look, even though I'm an accountant,
that's right.
I need to be able to edit several high definition feeds at a time.
So I'm just a security guard, so I need to hear what's going on. No, my boss was a bit of a. I think the funny thing is, in hindsight, is my boss was a bit of a shyster, and he would always kind of finagle things. And so then, and he was a boss, right? So he had some authority. He's long since retired, and so I think he liked it because I would just come up with these things that it was almost like a challenge for him to get. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I presented him with a challenge. Could we get this big monitor, or could we get these, way too expensive speakers for the office? Right. And then I think he took it as a personal challenge to try to push it through and see if he could get it. This was one of his triumphs. we had to buy a new work vehicle.
Mhm.
And we typically, because we had to haul things every once in a while, we had minivans at the time. And somehow he was able to get a minivan with a multi CD player in it. And all the rest of the minivans had roll down windows still.
Training tapes to motivate motivate the team, right?
I don't know what. Yeah, and they had the crank windows still. Whenever this was at the transition of crank windows, and he got us a minivan with all electric, everything. It was like the top of the line minivan, and somehow he finagled that. So it was, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, he was quite the master manipulator of the system.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he also was. I always tell this story. Is he was the only person I knew, and I think to this day still know, who was able to disappear at the exact right moment in a crowd while having a conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he'd be talking with a small group of people about something, and then something would come up like, well, how did you, what are you doing or whatever? And he had the uncanny ability to then be gone and no one saw him leave. And they're like, where's John? And I go, and he'd leave me there, which was the other thing. I would be stuck in the conversation, and then he would be gone. I'd be like, oh, I don't know where he went. And then he'd just be gone.
He may have been a Dracula.
He may have. He was actually very photogenic, so he may have. Although Dracula doesn't get his photo taken. Oh, it's just a mirror. Can Dracula get his photo taken, but just not in a mirror?
I think when mirrors were new technology, I think it was like he couldn't be seen in a mirror.
Right.
And so if you looked in a reflection and, you notice his body, wasn't really there.
Right.
Then, but no, I think the modern era thing was, let's see, Dracula was just the sun.
Just the sun. Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up here, Chad.
What about like a whole wide spectrum flashlight, right?
True.
It was like a little flashlight, and I'm like killing Dracula. It's got to be kind of embarrassing for Dracula.
That sparks another memory. I was able to get full spectrum fluorescent lights for my office as well.
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to ask you offline. What you were doing there? What you were up to?
It looked like the sun when you'd walk into my office because we had the full spectrum of light. But anyway, Chad, the incredible True Facts of Space, you can go to it as a website, which was first, and now you can read it as a book.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Bob. Thanks for having me on and talking about stuff. We could probably talk a couple hours, but
we certainly meandered a lot. So, but that's okay.
I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, man.
Well, hold on just a second. I'm going to click a button and I'll talk to you in just a moment, Chad, but we're saying goodbye to everybody else.